heard of the African country Djibouti? If no, well, sit back and relax while I tell you about one of the smallest countries in Africa to celebrate its independence. The Republic of Djibouti is located in the Horn of Africa and occupies an area totaling 23,000 kilometers. It is bounded by Ethiopia in the west and south, Somalia in the southwest, Eritrea in the north, the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden to the east. And its capital is Djibouti City. It has a population of about 900,000 people, with Somali making up to 60% of the population and the Afar people making over 35% of the population. Explains why it is the third smallest country in the world. Formerly known as French Somaliland from 1896 to 1967, and the French territory of Afars and Issas from 1967 to 1977. The country took Djibouti as its name when it gained independence from France on 27th June 1977. Did I mention that it is one of the most strategically positioned countries in the world, situated at the intersection of the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, with a deep water port on the most global significant trade routes, where over 30% of all global shipping pass through this narrow passage. Wow. Djibouti is the most urbanized country in East Africa. It is the most urbanized country in East Africa and one of the most urbanized countries in Africa as a whole, with more than 3/4 of its population, that is 78% of its population, residing in urban areas. Djibouti is home to most of the most beautiful beaches in Africa. Explains why tourism is on such a rapid growth in Djibouti. The country receives tourists all year round thanks to its beautiful beaches and also convenient weather. The water bodies do not just serve as a source of livelihood to the people in terms of fishing, it also provides lovely and interesting water activities such as diving, bungee jumping, swimming with dolphins and sharks. Did you know that Djibouti is one of the oldest Islamic nations in the world? Now let me tell you, Islam in Djibouti has a long history. First appearing in the country during the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad, it was first introduced in the 7th century, which makes Djibouti one of the oldest countries to practice Islam. Today, 94% of Djiboutians are Sunni Muslims, with the remaining 6% practicing Christianity. The influence of Islam can be seen in the food, dressing, lifestyle in general, especially in the urban areas. Being a predominantly Islamic country, Djibouti is pretty conservative. This means that it expects its visitors to abide by these conservative rules. So if you plan on visiting, know that you should cover yourself, cover your words self, especially if you're going to the country solo. Attitude-wise, PDA is not encouraged there. That is all this public display of attraction or affection, or however they put it. It is not welcome there. Hugging, kissing, shining teeth up and down, jumping and showing happiness to the world. It is not really worth welcomed. In terms of law, the laws of the land dictate that both men and women have equal rights. Although in reality, it's a different story. First of all, it's an Islamic country, so women face discrimination under the customary law, especially in terms of inheritance, property matters, marriage, and all of that. In fact, the next thing we're going to talk about is marriage. In marriage, the woman is subject to her husband in all aspects of her life, and she must obey him in everything. The husband can limit her freedom of movement as he pleases. According to Islamic law, women are not allowed to travel abroad without the consent of their husband or a male family member, as in an adult male family member. One of the traditions even states that a single woman is not allowed to live alone. The law states that minimum girl age for marriage is 18 years, but the marriage of a minor is subject to the consent of her guardian, her parents, or even the judge. According to the recent data, about 5% of Djibouti women are married before the age of 18 and 2% are married off before the age of 15. Now that is some crazy ass shit. Child marriage in Djibouti is slightly more popular in the rural areas and districts outside the capital. Marriage is generally seen as the next step for women. It can either be consensual, that is between both partners, or arranged by the parents. Arranged marriage is usually more common amongst the more wealthy family due to some sort of maybe business deals to create or strengthen bond between wealthy families and all of that. Most women within the ages of 30 to 35 are already married with children, even grown-up children at that. Only 19% of women are working as compared to the 81% of men. The primary role of the women in Djibouti is to take care of the home and bear children for their husbands. A lot of the women don't go to high school, and a few of them that did do not further their education beyond high school. So they just end up becoming housewives while they're teenagers. The ones that aren't yet married are in desperate search for spouses. Notwithstanding, Djibouti is home to one of the most beautiful women in Africa, in fact in the world. They're not just beautiful, they are homely, they are caring, they know how to take care of people, they are respectful. So my single brothers, you might want to look that direction. In accordance with the Islamic religion, marriage is considered a very crucial part of their culture. Djiboutians marry really young because marriage is considered an achievement, hence explains why it is celebrated very well, like a festival. Also, polygamy is quite normal to the Muslims. A man can take up to 4 wives. It's good as long as he can take care of them and as long as he can afford to. The Djibouti marriage involves singing and dancing to traditional wedding songs. The Djibouti culture also considers a whole lot of stuff before marriage is approved. This includes fertility of the men and women, circumcision, family background, and whatnot. The wedding might take place from a day before, go on throughout the day till night, till the actual wedding day. The bride pierces her nose, embellishes herself with, jewelry and all of that, all in the bid to look cute for her wedding day. In most cases, the bride prepares for the wedding up to 3 months before the actual day, and a day to the wedding, she applies, her assistant applies henna designs all over her hands and her feet, to make her look pretty for her wedding day. The groom dresses in traditional wedding garments made out of rich fabrics. In addition, the groom ties cloth on his head as the wedding tradition demands. During the wedding ceremony, the groom holds the bride's right hand and holds up his left hand as a way of, making an oath to his bride. Afterwards, the bride makes her own oath, kneeling down facing the groom. After the vows are made, the guests shower them with gifts and celebrate. This is quite similar to every other African tradition. Lest I forget, online dating. Now, online dating is quite popular amongst the Djiboutians because of the privacy it provides. It creates room for young men and women who are not yet married to socialize and talk to each other discreetly. Emphasis on discreetly, especially following the fact that phones are everywhere nowadays. And this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying this long. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. We post nice things like this every single time. French content, history, culture, and all of that. So make sure to subscribe, share, click that like button, comment your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know what else you'd like me to talk about. And once again, happy Independence Day to Djibouti. Love from Nigeria. See you in the next video. A bientôt.